Hello, my name is Jeannie Justice. I am a professor at MSU. I teach educational technology to graduate students. Um, I'm very often asked to explain how in the world I got to MSU. So you have to understand, I went to University of Florida. I went to Georgia Southern University. I worked and lived in South Florida for 20 years, so people are often, interested how I got all the way from there to here. So I will tell you, it is a kind of an interesting story. I went to a conference in Florida, a teaching conference, and the presenter was talking about positions in educational technology, and I was about to graduate with my doctorate. I worked and did my doctorate at the same time. And so she had on a slide, she had Morehead State University, and it hit me because I was like, that's such an unusual name, Morehead State. It just stuck with me because it was such an interesting name. And so when I went back to work, I was working in a community college at the time, and when I went back to work, I just asked around, hey, have you ever heard of Morehead State? And of course, South Florida, most people hadn't, but there was a handful of people that knew Morehead State and said, oh my gosh, that's such a great school, and oh, it's so beautiful, and it was all interesting and good things that people had to say. And one of my coworkers, he actually had considered coming to Morehead State to play baseball. And he had come to campus and had told me so much about it. And so from all of their comments, I looked into it. And I saw, read the position, and so I thought, well, it can't hurt to apply. So I applied for the position. You have to understand that I had never taught graduate classes before. So I was a little bit of a risk to hire because I'd been unproven. Now, granted, I have taught public school, high school, undergraduate, adult education. I taught on multiple levels, so it's not that I couldn't teach. It's just I didn't have experience in this specific area. So I didn't know if they would even be interested in me, but I went ahead and applied, and we had a virtual interview first. Instead of a phone, it was done on a Google Hangout, and the people I talked to were quite jolly and interesting. And one of the questions that I was asked that stuck out to me was, if I was a superhero, what would my superpower be? And I immediately, knee-jerk reaction, said, what do you mean if I was a superhero? My name is Dr. Justice. And of course, everybody got the joke immediately and started laughing. And that's when I realized that I was in the right place. So I came to campus, fell in love with the campus. I love the people I work with. This is the only place I've ever worked in my whole life where we come in for a meeting and then we stay for an extra hour or two just to catch up with each other and talk to each other. And it's very much a student-first organization, and our goals align because that's exactly the kind of person I am. It's a student-first kind of person. So I've been here for, maybe 8 years, going on 8 years, 7, 8 years. And I can't see me working anyplace else. I love this place. So that's my MSU story.